Now I'm about to plant these seeds. I'm not listening. My ears are closed. I'm about to plant these seeds anyway and see what happens. Let the hope rise up in me and find. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, what is up? My name is Taquisha. This is Our Freedom Song. Listen, it is after the first week of November. We have had our first frost. We are in zone AB, and y'all, I'm about to plant some seeds that were supposed to be planted like well before now. But I have all of this space out in the front of the house, and as much as I try to convince myself that I would not plant anything, that I would just stick to our normal regular garden over there, y'all, I cannot help myself. I mean, this space right here is probably a 2 by 20 easily. So it's like 20 feet of planting space that I could experiment with. So this is the front of our house, and I love finding little places that can be used to plant food for the family, because I'm telling y'all, when you start to look around and that creativity starts to kick in, you're like, wait, I could actually plant food for my family here. Landscaping is beautiful, but so is food. So is food. Let's do some foodscaping. It's partly shaded, and so things grow really slowly here, but things still grow. And so I think it would be perfect just to put some things in the soil today, even though it's late, probably like 2 months past the time. Who even knows? It's definitely past our first frost, and I'm just gonna do it. Listen, I'm about to just put some seeds over here and defy some odds. So let's do it. So this is the space that I am working on right now. It needs some love. I started weeding yesterday and just getting it like cleaned up because it was looking really, really sad. So in this file cabinet planter over here, this is lemon balm, and it's doing really good, but I'm going to harvest this because I need to harvest this so I can dry it out. These file cabinet planters have done amazing. As you can see, after I pulled out our tomatoes that was up here, the soil has really dropped, and so in the spring I will top this back off with fresh compost and plant in it some more. But these planters have been absolutely amazing. They still look so incredible and add so much beauty to the front of our house. Look at these late blooming marigolds. Like, they really are like, we about to live and not die even after the frost, which is so amazing. I'm also going to be harvesting some mint from this bed as well, so that I can get that dried and it can be used. I love how mint just was sitting on the soil and it just put its roots down. So yeah, so I'm going to be harvesting this. I do have a cabbage in this bed, and then there's some more mint over here. But the idea is that this bed is just going to be fully devoted to our mint plants. In this middle bed, we do have some rosemary that is a perennial, so it will die back some, but then come back full-fledged when it's spring. I'm going to harvest this as well, and then I have another cabbage here as well. So I just love interplanting food with our typical like flowers and plants out here. I mean, food is beautiful, like food plants, and they add so much beauty, like carrots. Carrot tops are so gorgeous, and they stay green and they look really fantastic. Just those leafy greens are just such a treat. I'm definitely a fan of using our spaces to grow food and interplant them and have the best of both worlds. Is there anybody out there who is defying the odds as well? Like, nah, I'm about to plant these seeds. I'm not listening. My ears are closed. I'm about to plant these seeds anyway and see what happens. Who thinks I'm crazy? Like, girl, you wasting money. You over there wasting money because you planting seeds when you shouldn't be planting seeds. Hey, but listen, I have a thought. What if I plant seeds and I cover it with greenhouse plastic? like and make like a little mini greenhouse. I think that that would be such a great idea. So these are actually really beautiful to press. I'm gonna put these in the flower press. These are nice. Well, this one's a little rough, but there's some really nice ones in here. Okay, so I'm going to be planting. This kale did not grow for me last season. And I don't know why, but I love kale. I would love to see this grow. So I'm going to grow this larger kale just on the outskirts because I don't want it to actually work and then it blocks the whole window. And so I'm going to grow this kale as well as some other kale varieties. We're going to be growing these. I sowed some kohlrabi as well as some carrots in the first section, and so now I'm just about to go in thick with some kale. I'm trying to think what else I want to grow, but I'm gonna go with this for now, and we're gonna see where we at. So since the first time I saw this variation, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. I would love to see that growing. And I didn't have success last time. So I'm hoping, even with the odds, that we will have success growing a Romanesco broccoli. I mean, how gorgeous is that? I'm hopeful. I mean, even the package says sow in early spring or late summer. So I'm thinking maybe if it doesn't work out, maybe it'll just stay dormant until spring. And when spring comes, half the work that I needed to do will be done. With that being said, it could be a win. It definitely could be a fail, but it still could be a win, y'all. It still could be. Okay, so I am down to the last quarter of space. Well, really not this ending because I already planted the 1,000 head kale over 1,000 year kale over there. And so I'm going to go ahead and fill in this last space. And while I do, I want to show you the coolest thing. Our son recently went to state championships with his band and they did fantastic. They are such an amazing and talented group of children and they did so good. So with our little town, what they do is they put signs all along the different streets as the kids are heading out. And we get to put signs up. So my wonderful husband, who is so talented, decided to paint our son's sign, and he painted him, y'all, and he did an absolutely incredible job. Like, so satisfying to watch. Oh my goodness, wasn't that absolutely incredible? I have such an incredibly talented husband. Like, it's so beautiful to see him in his element and just working in that way. I just love it. Okay, so in this last section, I decided to plant this broccoli variety. It is exciting. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. I will clearly be able to remember everything that I planted in this sections, in all of these sections. I am going to take a good look at what we got. So now I'm about to grab the plastic, but I cannot pass the garden and not take you in. So let's go take a look. of our cabbages and greens in this bed are looking really, really good. I'm very happy about what I'm seeing. And this bed naturally gets mulched by the trees that's above, so that's nice. So I did notice that our garlic was sprouting, so I am going to mulch this area just more thickly. I think that's a better way to say that, more thickly. We also have one onion that sprouted, which, you know what, it makes me so hopeful to see this little sprout, and so I'm excited. I think this is gonna go good. What do we have over here? So I'm so happy that we've been on this carrot journey together. So you can share in my excitement about seeing them grow, and we have more popping up, and that's just makes my heart so happy. I did recently put some fertilizer on everything growing in the garden. I used this fish fertilizer, and then I used, which this didn't have lid, but I used some of this kelp fertilizer for the green stalks. I need to let you guys know all of these varieties that's growing. Everything is, look at this kale. I'm about to be harvesting this kale and some of these spinach leaves. Looking so beautiful. I'm going to be harvesting some of this choy. I do see some radishes that are bulbing. My absolutely favorite to look at. So gorgeous, so very gorgeous. And this kale down here, red Russian kale. Ooh, it's a worm. I was like, I've just saw my first sign of something eating on here, and I turned the leaf around, and there we have it, y'all. There we have it. Already thinking about what I can go ahead and plant in the sections where I put the radish, because I didn't really think about it while I was sowing it, but with putting it at the top, it's going to be very empty once all of these radishes are finished. And so I'm going to have to think about what to put in here. I have not watered the green stalk today yet, so that's why it's looking a little dry and crispy, but we're getting there. I did come out here and mulch the beds a little heavier with pine straw, because I really want to make sure that the soil is not drying out. These peas have not quite reached the length of touching the trellis, and so they're all kind of tangled up on itself. On the ground, it's almost there. You can do it. It's so close. Look, it's so close. The peas on this side though have reached the trellis. This trellis is a little bit lower. It's reached the trellis, and they are looking so good. I'm so happy to see these pea flowers, y'all. Yes, yes, yes. I was concerned that our frost was going to really damage these peas, because the leaves are just so tender, but they didn't, and they look incredible, and I'm so grateful for that. I just love these peas. This bed is looking good. Look at these beauties. I'm so happy about them. Looking so fantastic. I did, on these early pea seed varieties, I did see some like frostbite on them. And so I thought that was really interesting because it wasn't on the other peas. This is a whole tangled mess in here, y'all. They just need to reach for the trellis. They are so beautiful though. And I just have to say, I love this point of view. So beautiful, y'all. Oh my goodness. My heart is so filled with gratitude. And I am just so grateful to have so many garden friends to share it with, because that just really adds to the beauty of gardening, is being able to connect with people who really love gardening themselves. And it's just such a beautiful community and such a beautiful place to be. So it's so interesting because only two of the pea plants, two or three, actually germinated in this bed. And yet across from this bed, it's just exploding. And so that's just so funny. I remember this little guy, it was so teeny tiny. And I was like, I'm gonna pop you here anyway. And it's growing. It's growing slow, but it don't matter. It's still growing. I'm so happy I found the worm that was living in there. It had the best hiding place ever. These are looking beautiful. When you come to the garden and you see that your leaves have been nibbled on, it's like the ultimate game of hide and seek for real. You like, I know you in there. Where you at? You're like searching for the worm. Like, I know you in there somewhere, blending in so nicely. So this lettuce is looking very good and tasty. Although it's still pretty small, I'm gonna come out and like cut some so that I can eat it and promote it to continue to grow. Because it's definitely in some areas large enough to cut. Like I can make a pretty good salad out of the cuttings from this bed. So I believe this is the sesame, and the bugs love it. Look how teeny it is, and look how teeny the bugs like are that just want to like eat it. It's so crazy. But yeah, that's the sesame, and it's the only thing in our lettuce bed right now that's being eaten, because I guess they got tired of the brassicas. This one got eaten down, but it's growing back, and there's others that grew back and they look beautiful. And so yes, they will take more time growing because they got cut back to pretty much nothing and they're growing all over. But I am glad that I did not pull it out. This little section right here wants to give me a yummy salad, and so I'll cut from this. It's so pretty. I'll cut from this. I'll cut from the section I just showed you, as well as the kale, and make a very delicious and very beautiful salad. This Brussels is growing back as well, and they're looking really, really good and healthy. I don't know if we ever found the culprit on this one, but it had a really, really good meal for a while. Oh, let's squish you. Yes, I'm just squishing these worms with my fingers. Okay, so we have this bed. This does look like it has a worm on it somewhere. Like I would scream out, not probably, if I turned that over and it was like a big one, you know. I'm not trying to squish like a big old hornworm with with my thumb. So some of this is just prior damage. And so I'm grateful for the cold weather that is knocking some of the pest pressure back for sure. So happy to see the peas trellising up. Ah, so beautiful. And this is the final bed, and it's looking good. This little Brussels sprout right here grew so much. It makes my heart happy. This is how things are looking. And we do have some peas that are growing and trellising as well. Hoping to get a huge pea harvest. That is the hope. Check on our carrots up here. They are growing. Looking good. I am being mindful about keeping the soil moist so that our egg carton would continue to break down. Okay, so this is the plastic that I'm going to be working with. I'm just going to give it a little rinse, and then we'll take it up front and lay it out. Okay, so I am coming back into the greenhouse because I'm going to sow some of these seeds. I think that this is going to be my solution for the green stalk. Once we pull those radishes, I can go ahead and start the Swiss chard right now because the Swiss chard can be transplanted. It doesn't, have finicky as far as the root system. It can be transplanted, so I'm going to choose these Swiss chards. I'm just going to sow them in the pot, and I'm actually going to wrap them up in plastic to help with the germination. So when our radishes are done, I can just take these plugs and plug them right into the green stalk, and it can continue to grow. I'm also going to be sowing a late batch of this purple cabbage, the red acre, because I really want to see this grow, and some purple broccoli. I would have used this broccoli earlier, but I didn't find it until just now. I was looking all over for extra carrots and broccoli and I found them in the greenhouse. And so I'm just going to plant another container of these and wrap them up in plastic, let them sprout. And when they look like they are nice and good and ready, I'm going to then plug them into the garden. So I've decided that while I'm at it, I am going to sow some of this Savoy cabbage as well as some of this Napa cabbage. Cabbage, broccoli, chard and choy, and then spinach. I'm gonna take a picture so that I can remember. And I'm gonna leave these in place and just wrap them up with some plastic and see if we can't get some seeds germinated. So this method worked absolutely incredibly well with the carrots. So that's why I have some confidence in this, using the plastic to get these things to germinate faster, because the carrots germinated in 6 days. And carrots typically take a good bit, well, they can, to germinate. And so I'm confident that wrapping these up in plastic, and what I did with the carrots is I set it in, well, some of the carrots I set in a container of water so that the soil could stay moist, and it really worked. And that's what I'm gonna do for these as well. If you are watching this and you have a friend who is gardening, on their garden journey, have been gardening for a while, and they told you that they're gonna plant some late seeds, they're gonna try it out, and they ain't did it yet, go ahead and take this moment to reach out to them and be like, hey, listen, don't forget to plant those seeds. I have a friend right now that I'm about to message and say, hey girl, remember those carrot seeds you said you was going to plant? Just do it. Just do it. I'm going to do this and we're going to see how it works, and I'll be able to use this experience for next year. And this is all a part of our gardening journey. We're gonna see. Okay guys, well, in a few days we will know if this was worth it, worth the time and worth the effort, or if it was a complete waste of time and it didn't work at all. I am guessing, my bet is that it's going to work, and that I'm going to be so happy that I decided to plant seeds 2 months late. That is what I'm thinking. That is what I'm hoping. That's the hope. But if this works, and this rigged up type of greenhouse system works, that is going to be such a tool in my tool belt as a gardener going forward. It really is. And so I'm definitely hoping for the best. Definitely hoping for the best, y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today in the garden and in the greenhouse. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you who decide to join me to be here. Like, I appreciate it. There aren't words to describe how I feel. I really cannot truly articulate it good enough. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.